Okay everybody, this is the video for the lilies. That's the lily that you're going to make, and we also need to make the lily leaves. Okay, using the same cutter for the leaves as you're making the lily. Okie doke. So you need your 26 wires. Cut the wires into 3, and you need to cut 6 petals. Okay, so there's the lily cutters. You've got 2 lily petals in the set. I've also put a template for the lily cutters up on the page. We need to cut 3 of the thick petal and 3 of the thin petal. So I'll start you off. Okay, so whatever colour paste that you want to use for the lilies, it's entirely up to you. Lilies come in all sorts of different colours. I'm going to make mine white, and I'm going to do a pink centre. So the paste nice and soft. A little bit of Trex on your worktop, or a very small amount of icing sugar. Rolling pin. Roll the paste out nice and thin. Not too thin where you can't get the wires through it. My lily cutter or your template. Cut out 3 of the thin shape and 3 of the thicker shape. Okay. Pick your lily petal up. One of your wires. Dip the end of the wire into your glue. Just a very small amount, not too much where the wire is going to slip off. You've got the wire. Insert the wire into the paste. So you're holding the paste between finger and thumb. Insert the wire into one end of the paste and slowly feed that wire through the petal. Nice and slowly feed it through the petal. Okay, making sure that the petal doesn't come out through the other end. Now the wire goes through the petal to about 2/3 of the way. Then you want your ball tool. You're going to use the ball tool, doesn't matter which end you use. Soften the edges. There we go. Okay. And then you need to take a veining tool, one that looks a bit like a toothpick. Going to use the more pointed end. Take it at the top of the petal, bring it down the centre, and then take it either side. Okay. Take your petal up, hold it between finger and thumb, put your finger on the top point there, squeeze it together a little bit and bend back. Then we're going to put that into our little foam block. Okay, I'm going to put it into the foam block. If it's bending back too much, leave it laid down for a little while. I'll stand that in my foam block. Okay, here's some I prepared earlier. Okay, I've got the 6 petals, and I've actually coloured these, but I'm going to show you how to colour them shortly. Next, you need to make your little stamens. These are the centre parts of the lily, and we've also got to make the green pistil part. Okie doke. I'll put that down there. So for this, you need your 28 wires. Cut those wires into 4, and you're only actually going to use 7 pieces of those wires, so you'll have 1 spare piece. You want a little bit of paste, and we're going to dye that paste almost like a lime colour. I've actually pre-coloured mine. If you don't have any, what I suggest is mix a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green together to give you that limey colour. You only need a very, very small amount for this. If your fingers are getting a bit sticky, put a little bit of Trex on your fingers. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I've got about a pea-sized piece of paste. Make it into a nice round ball. Then use your finger in the palm of your hand to make a little bit of a sausage shape. Okay, it's about 2 inches long. Dip one end of the wire into your glue. Just a very, very small amount, you don't need too much. Right, now the tricky part. Feed that wire into that sausage piece of paste. I'll push the wire into the centre of the paste, feed it all the way down, voila. Okay, reshape it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my finger and thumb at the top of that paste, squish it down to make it look like a bit like the head of a nail. Then with my finger and thumb, where I've squished it down, I'm going to pinch it out. I'm going to do that 3 times to make it look like a bit like the propeller of an aeroplane. Okay. So that's the centre, what they call a pistil, and that is going to form the centre where the little stamens are. Where's my flower? Here we go. And then we're going to tape some stamens around the outside of it. Put that one in my foam block. Then you need your paste, and we need to dye that brown. A little bit of brown paste, and here's some I prepared earlier. This time we only need a minute piece of paste, tiny amount of brown paste. You can see how small that ball of icing is. About the size of the little silver and gold balls that you get to put on your cakes. So nice round ball, roll it backwards and forwards, a bit like a tic-tac shape, not too big. Dip the end of your wire into your glue, not too much glue, we don't want it to fall off, and push the wire into the brown paste. Okay, flatten it down a little bit. Back to your vernier tool, a pointed end. Now I've laid my paste down on my worktop, and I'm going to use the pointed end to push it into the paste to make a little indentation. Make it look like a bit like a coffee bean. Okay, you need to make 6 of those. Okay, so that's 6 stamens. You can actually buy your own stamens, but it's quicker and easier to make this one, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. Okay, so once you've got 6 stamens made, one of the pistil, 6 petals, 3 of which are going to be a thin petal and 3 are a thicker petal. Once you've got all of those done, you need your green tape. Okay, so you want a length of green tape. Put that to one side because we're going to tape them all together. Next, we're going to put the colouring on the petals. So you need your blossom tints for this. So powdered colouring. Oh, I've got some prepared earlier. 2 dry paintbrushes, one for the green, one for the pink. Or you might be doing a yellow lily, orange lily, in which case you would use just the orange and the green. Okay, and you will also need a food colouring pen to put the markings on the lily. So your petals that you've made earlier, I'll put it on my spongy pad so you can see. Okay, a little bit of the dusting powder, dry paintbrush, and I'm going to dust the centre of the lily. Not too much, I've just put it in the centre of there. Then I'm going to use my food colouring pen, put some little dots on there to form the markings of the lily. Okay, this one's got the markings on. If you were just doing an all plain white one, they wouldn't have any markings on at all. Tiger lilies have the little markings on, and these pink oriental lilies have the markings on. So I'm making the pink oriental lily. Push that to one side. Okay, so you do all 6 of your petals. Once you've got those all made, you need to leave them to dry. Usually take a few hours. You don't try and tape them up while they're all wet because they'll fall off the wires and you'll damage them. I've actually got some pre-made, so I can show you how to do it without you waiting a long time. Okay, so green floral tape, centre of the lilies. Fold the tape over the wire between finger and thumb, give it a couple of twists. That's the centre. Then we're going to add in our stamens one at a time. Keep the stamens the same height as that pistil there. Add one, turn it round, add another, turn that round, and we're going to add the rest until we've added all 6. Well, each time you're adding one, turn the tape round, try and get them evenly spaced, keeping them all at the same height. Okay, a couple of twists. I'm going to start to open mine up a little bit so I can see where I need to add the rest. Okay, so I've got a couple of little gaps there to put the final 2 in. Keep the tape at the same height, don't move the tape down the wire. We're adding all the petals in, all the stamens in. Okay, there we go. So just pull that out a little bit. So that's the centre of your lily. Ready. Give that a couple more twists so they're not moving around in the wind. They're nice and secure, nice and tight. Okay, now we need to add in all our lily petals. So we add in the thick petals first, and then we add in the thinner petals. Okay, so one of your lily petals, add that to your stamens. Can you see I've added it at the bottom of the stamens there, so it's level. Give it a couple of twists, nice and secure, nice and tight, and then I'll just bring the petal out slightly. Okay, next broad petal, add that one in, move it around a little bit, give that a couple of twists, open that up a little bit, and the third broad petal. Okay, add that one in all the way around. Okay, so I've added those in, and you see there, form a bit like a triangle shape. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in the thinner petals, and they're going to go in between the broad petals that you've just put in. Okay, so first of the thin one, add that in, tape it round slightly. Second one in, tape that one round slightly. There we go. Just arranging these. And the third and final of your thinner petals in that last gap there. Give that a couple of twists. Make sure it's nice and secure, nice and tight. And then you can twist the flower and the stalk and bring the tape all the way down to the bottom. To break off any excess. Okay, so that one there. I'm just going to ease these petals back just a little bit to open the flower up. There we go. And you see, you've got your finished lily. Okay, so for the leaves, you were using, put that lily down, you were using the thin lily cutter, okay? And we're making 9 of these green leaves. So you would dye your paste green and cut out your lily leaf using the thin petal cutter. Cut the paste out, soften all the edges and put the markings on just the same way, exactly the same way that you did for the lily petals. For this exercise, we're actually making 3 lily flowers and 9 lily petals. And the lily flowers can be any colour, like I said, any colour you want. Doesn't have to be this one that I've done. You get nice bright orange ones, yellow ones, all pink ones, all white ones. They're entirely up to you. I've known some ladies do them blue, some have done them purple. Entirely up to you, whatever colour you want to do. Okay? So 3 of those and 9 green leaves.